Hi there. Welcome back to the Kindness Advantage. I am your host, Cindy Rowe, and I'm excited to have you join me on the Kindness Advantage, where in 10 minutes or less, I will share ways that you can incorporate kindness not only into your professional life, but your personal life as well. And that's the topic today is we are talking about kindness hacks for the busy professional. If you are anyone like me, we are really, really busy, and sometimes to add kindness to, your thought process can get overwhelming, right? We all know the feeling that, we have those overflowing inboxes, the endless to-do list. We barely have enough time to breathe, let alone go to the bathroom. Many of us don't even take lunch breaks. Shame on you if you're one of them. Um, but what if I told you that integrating kindness into your workday does not have to be a big, you know, major time commitment? In fact, if you've listened to me long enough, you know that small acts of kindness actually have a big impact on our stress levels, your relationships with your coworkers, and even your overall productivity. So I think it's worth listening to my tips that I have for you. So I put together some. I know, you know, um, I've had this in several of my workshops and when I give presentations that people are like, we're just really too busy. And so kindness is not top of mind. And what it needs to become is your mindset, right? And that does take practice and it does take time. I've been intentional with kindness for almost 10 years now, and I still have to check myself. So it's not always easy to fit it in, right? But I'm going to give you some tips today, and I hope they're helpful, and I hope maybe it opens up your eyes a little bit. Um, this is not brain science, brain surgery, whatever they say, right? Like this is really silly stuff, but just having it in your mindset and creating that core value of kindness um, as an individual, it will become easier to do in the workplace. I know that even sometimes a simple thank you note, right, feels like one more thing you have to add to your never ending list. But what if I have, these quick and easy ways to show kindness at work without sacrificing your precious time? Will you listen to me? Will you be listening to me? I hope you do. Again, it's 10 minutes. I like to get in, get out, and give you some really good practical stuff. So, without further ado, my first tip, my first idea for you is actually starting your day with a smile and a warm greeting. So, when we walk in the door to our workplace, making sure that we have a smile on our face and having, acknowledging people, whoever they are, when you walk by them with a warm hello, having that positive tone for your interactions at the start of the day will actually help you maintain them throughout the day. The other tip I have, and you've heard this before, but offer a genuine compliment. Find a moment where you can recognize a coworker's accomplishments or efforts. It seriously just takes a minute, but it can make a huge difference. Um, in some of my presentations, I talk about the right list. We are so quick to tell people when they've screwed up and when they've made, done something wrong. Um, but how often do we tell them about the things that they've done right? So making a right list and having that, whether it's tucked in your brain or something, and when you see them, bring it up. It's really easy. Third tip or idea I have is celebrating those small wins. So, paying attention to what your team member, your coworkers do. Did they meet a deadline or solve a problem? Did they make it in time, arrive on time, maybe even early, and they're typically running a little late. Acknowledge that and express your appreciation. Again, super simple. My final tip I have is to offer help when you see somebody struggling. Maybe they're swamped with a project or, uh, even carrying a heavy load, right? Like, offer assistance can be a lifesaver. And here's the deal, when you do these things for others, it will come back to you, right? So when you need, and I don't mean for this to be like, well, you better do this if you want something, because that's not what kindness is about. But when you genuinely care about other people, they will start to care about you. Like, they will make sure that they'll remember. It kind of goes like in this little memory bank, right? Of all the good deeds that you did, or how helpful you were, or how kind you were. And so when they see you struggling, or when they know that you need a little extra help, they're going to be there for you. So it really does pay to be kind in the workplace. I also have another time saving tip, right? So those technology lovers, I do this a lot. Many email platforms like allow you to schedule emails in advance. So why not draft a few thank you notes or positive messages and schedule them to send at a later time? This is something fun to do, maybe during your lunch hour or on the weekend, when you just have a little bit more downtime to think about things, and schedule it. And this way, you're showing kindness, but you're also like not adding another thing to your to-do list, and you're staying on top of your workload, right? So I know, these kinds of, we all have the days where, stress levels are super high, tempers might be high as well, right? Maybe you're close to a deadline, or whatever. We all have those moments, right? So how can we practice kindness even under pressure? And I think it's just really important to remember, number one, that we're human. Number two, that we all have bad days. So if you're finding yourself becoming frustrated with a coworker or a team member, walk away, take a deep breath, and really try to see things from their perspective. Most of the time, when people are mean or rude to you, it has nothing to do with you. It's what's going on with them. And we just don't have the privilege of knowing all the details, right? I also believe that when you practice active listening and showing empathy to people, it really can go a long way in diffusing the tension and the situation. So maybe taking a moment to pause and respond with kindness rather than reacting. I know it sounds, it's a lot easier than it sounds, or it's a lot harder than it sounds. I apologize. But, when we react out of frustration, it really can hurt the situation, and we can't take back our words, right? So yeah, taking a moment to pause and breathe, and then try to respond with kindness, compassion, and respect will go a long, long way. And I also can't end this episode without reflecting on, self-kindness, right? Especially for busy professionals like you and myself, right? Sometimes, we need to schedule time for ourselves, something that it could just be a few minutes. Maybe it's taking a walk outside during your lunch break. Maybe it's, listening to some really great music. Whatever is something that will bring you a little bit of joy during your workday is really important. And making sure that you're getting enough sleep, because sleep is super important. Um, when you reset and recharge, like, you're just better equipped, not only to show kindness, but to show up as your best self at work. So we can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of ourselves allows us to show up as our best selves for our coworkers and everyone around us. So I hope you've enjoyed these quick tips. I know we're all super busy and sometimes it just seems overwhelming to add kindness into your day. So I hope these are helpful. And thank you so much for listening. Please pass this along to somebody that needs to hear it. And of course, I'd love to hear your comments. And if you have any ideas for future podcast episodes, I'm all ears. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, together, we create waves of change through kindness.